Hey guys, so in this video we'll be going through how to solve algebraic fractions. Now before getting into this, there is a part 1 to this, which is simplifying algebraic fractions. So I would highly recommend to go and watch that first before getting into this. So I'll put that in the link in the description below as well so you guys can check it out. But there's also 3 other videos I would recommend to watch first, which is Factorising, Quadratic Formula, and Completing the Square. And the reason why I say that is because you're going to have to use one of these 3 methods to solve this equation. Okay, so if you don't know any of those 3, go and watch those videos first before coming to it. Very important. Okay, so let's get straight to this. So I've got 2 examples here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through those 2 examples, and what you want to do after is just write it down, make the notes from this, and then I'm going to give you some questions to do. Pause the video, play it, and see if you got the answers. Okay, so algebraic fraction is not as hard as it looks. Okay, and really it's just all algebra and manipulating algebra. So all you need to do first, right? You have this equation here, for example, 4 over 3x minus 1 minus 2 over x plus 1 equals 2. I'm going to first find the lowest common multiple, okay? So the lowest common multiple between 3x minus 1 and x plus 1 is just going to be 3x minus 1 and x plus 1. Okay, so all you're doing when you're having in algebra, you just bring them together. That's it. There's no thinking required. You just bring this and this together here. That's my lowest common multiple. And then the next thing, I see a minus here, so I'm just going to straight away put minus here. I'm going to do something called cross multiplying. So I'm going to do 4 times x plus 1. So that's just diagonally multiplying it. So this will be here. And then the other one, you probably guessed it, minus 2, which is already here, the minus. So 2 times 3x minus 1. Okay, that's it. Nothing else. Find the lowest common multiple, diagonally multiply, and then press right equals to 2. So now if you expand this, so that would be 4x plus 4, and then minus 2 times 3x is minus 6x, and then minus 2 times minus 1 is plus 2. We can expand the bottom as well, expanding the bracket. So if I expand and simplify that, that will give me 3x squared, 3x, so that's 2x, and then minus 1, okay, equals to 2. So that's just me expanding and simplifying the bracket. Let's simplify the top. 4x minus 6x is minus 2x. 4 plus 2 is 6. Now, what we can do here is you need to get rid of this 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross multiply this by the 2 diagonally. So what I can write it is I can write this 2 bracket 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. Okay, so then I have minus 2x plus 6 equals to 6x squared plus 4x minus 2. So if you now bring the minus 2x and 6 to the other side, you're going to have 6x squared plus 4x minus 2. Move minus 2x to the right hand side, that gives you plus 2x. Move the 6 to the other side, that gives me minus 6 equals 0. So if I simplify this, I'll have 6x squared, that's going to be 6x, and then minus 2 minus 8, minus 2 minus 6 is minus 8 equals to 0. So that's my quadratic equation that I need to solve. So just quickly going back here, this cross multiplying, if you don't know, in order to get rid of this fraction, this 3x squared plus 2x minus 1, you can diagonally multiply this with a 2, which is why I have 2 times all of this, right? I'm multiplying it out, and then you just expand and simplify, and then you get this. So now what you can do, there's 2 things. I'm gonna have to write it here because I don't have space, but this 6x squared plus 6x minus 8, you can either use quadratic formula or completing the square or factorizing, right? So I'm just going to use a quadratic formula. So if you remember, quadratic formula is minus b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So essentially my a value is going to be 6, my b value is going to be 6 again, and then c value is going to be minus 8. So I don't have the answers to this, so I'm going to do this in the calculator with you guys as well, okay? So I haven't written my answers in this, so we'll do this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these numbers in. So b is 6, so I'm going to put 6 inside minus b, that gives me minus 6. Plus and minus. Essentially what you're doing, right, you're just substituting these a, b, c values into the formula. That's it, nothing else. So b squared is going to be 6 squared minus bracket 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which is minus 8. Careful of the minus 8, right? This is very important. Over 2a, which is 2 times 6. So if we were to simplify this, that gives me minus 6 plus and minus square root 6 squared is 36 minus, keep that outside. So 4 times 6 is 24. 24 times 8, that's 32. 16, that's 192. So that's minus 192. Obviously, you can use a calculator for this. Over 2 times 6 is 12. So when we write this here, we have minus 6 plus and minus square root. Now, 36 minus minus. So that minus and minus means plus, right? So you're going to do 192 plus 36. So essentially it's 109, not 192, it should be 36 plus 192 because the two minuses become a plus over 12. So that means that will give me minus 6 plus and minus square root 36 at 192, that's 228 over 12. So your two answers that you're going to get here is going to be minus 6 plus square root 228 over 12. Put that in your calculator and that will give you an answer. And then x is equals to minus 6 minus square root 228 over 12 because of this minus here. And then that will give you an answer. So if I put that in the calculator right now, that's minus 6 square root 228 and then divide that by 12. That answer should be 0.75823 SF. And then the other one, minus 6 minus square root 228. And then divide that by 12. That should give us minus 1.76. So these are your two values for x. Okay, quite a lot to do. But again, if you know how to use a quadratic formula and all those completing the square, this is the only thing here that you're learning, really. That's it, nothing else. All this stuff you should know already if you haven't. So copy this down, make notes of it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the second example. So for the second example, again, what we're going to do first is find the lowest common multiple. Okay, so you should know now the lowest common multiple between these two is just going to be those two together. So 4 minus x and x plus 6, and then keep the equals to 3 here. So now what we do, remember, we cross multiply. So it's 3 bracket x plus 6, and then 2, but there's a plus there, bracket 4 minus x. Okay, so what we're going to do is expand that. So that's going to give us 3x plus 18, and then plus 8 minus 2x over, expand the bottom bracket. So you should get 4x plus 24 minus x squared minus 6x is equals to 3. So if we simplify that, 3x minus 2x is x, 18 and 8 is 26 over, so keep the minus x squared first here, 4x minus 6x is minus 2x plus 24 is equals to 3. So if you remember now, we're going to do something called cross multiplying. So we'll cross multiply that. So we'll have x plus 26 equals to 3 times all of this, minus x squared minus 2x plus 24. So we'll have x plus 26 equals, if we expand that, that's minus 3x squared. 3 times minus 2x is minus 6x. And then 3 times 24 is 1272. So if we, because we normally want to get the quadratic, the x squared to be positive, well, let's move all of this to the left-hand side. So we're going to have 3x squared plus 6x minus 72. And obviously don't forget the plus x and 26 equals 0. Yeah, 12, 6, and 2, that's fine. So 3x squared, if we simplify that, 6x plus x is 7x. Yeah, and then minus 72 minus 26, so that's 46, but minus 46 equals 0. So that is your equation. So if we remember, let's use a quadratic formula. So again, you know the formula now by now if you've written it, right? So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to say that's my a value, that's my b value, and then the c is my value here. So we're going to have x equals minus b. So my b value is 7. So I'm going to have minus 7 plus and minus square root b squared. So b squared is 7 squared minus bracket 4 times a, which is 3, and then times minus 46 because that's my c, over 2a, which is 2 times 3. So if we were to simplify that, we'll have minus 7 plus and minus 7 squared is 49. Minus 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 46 is 552. So careful, minus 552. Yeah, over 2 times 3, which is 6. So x equals minus 7 plus a minus square root. Now remember, minus times minus gives you plus, right? So you're going to have 49 plus 552 over 6. So if we simplify that, I'll just write that here. Minus 7 plus and minus square root. So 49 plus 552, so that's 601 over 6. So again, if you remember, we have two answers, right? Minus 7 plus square root 601 over 6. So if you put that in your calculator, I don't know, what would that be? Square root 601 divided by 6. So that gives me 2.92 to 3 SF. And then the other one, minus 7 minus square root 601 over 6. So if we put that as well, that's going to be minus 7 minus square root 601 and divided by 6. So that gives us minus 5.25 to 3SF. So that is your answer for this one. Okay, so this is how you solve algebraic fractions. These are quite high marks. I mean, normally you're looking at, 4 or 5 marks, depending. If it's maybe 5 or 6 as well, depending on how, if you're going to have to use completing the square quadratic formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a question, have a go, see how you, I'll give you a couple of questions, have a go at it, try it out, and then see for yourself if you get it right or wrong. Okay, so here are the 2 questions, have a go at these, and then we'll go through them. We're going to find the lowest common multiple between x plus 2 and 3x minus 2. So that's going to be x plus 2 and 3x minus 2. And then we cross multiply diagonally, so that's going to be 3 bracket 3x minus 2. Diagonally multiply this, minus, careful because there's a minus here, 3 bracket x plus 2. And then that's going to be equals to 4. So let's expand that. So that's going to be 3 times 3x, which is 9x. 3 times minus 2, which is minus 6. And then that's going to be minus 3x and then minus 6 over, expand this bracket. So you should have 3x squared minus 2. That's plus 4x minus 4 if you expand and simplify that, right? So 3x squared minus 2x, 6, yeah, that's fine, equals to 4. So if you simplify that, that's going to give 6x minus 12 equals to cross multiply this by 4. So 4 times 3x squared is 12x squared. 4 times 4x is 16x. And then 4 times minus 4 is minus 16. Move the 6x and minus 12 to the right hand side. So you'll get 12x squared plus 16x minus 6x is 10x. And then minus 16 plus 12 minus 4 equals 0. Okay, so once you got that, you use quadratic, or let's use quadratic formula. So you're going to have x is equals to, so 12 is my, if I put this here, a is 12, b is 10, and then c is minus 4. So if we put that in the formula, so that's going to be minus 10 plus and minus square root b squared, which is 10 squared, minus bracket 4 times 12 times minus 4 over 2a, which is 2 times 12. Okay, so if we simplify all of this, you should have had minus 10 plus and minus. So 4 times 12 is 48, times that by 4, which is 192. But then you have 100 there, because 10 squared, so 100 plus, because there's 2 minuses, 192. So that gives us 292 over 24. So now your 2 answers that you should have got, so if I can just find that out, minus 10 plus square root 292 divided by 24, so that should have given you 0.295 as one answer. And then the other one would be minus 10 minus square root 292 and divided by 24, so that should give minus 1.13. Yeah, and that's the 2 answers that you should have got. Okay, now if we look at the next one, lowest common multiple again for this is going to be 6 minus x and x plus 4. And then we cross multiply this, so that's going to be 4x plus 16. And then we cross multiply this, 2 times 6 is 12. And then 2 times minus x is minus 2x. I've just expanded it basically here, right? So equals 5. So 4x minus 2x is 2x. 16 and 12 is 28. If we expand the bottom, you should have had 6x plus 24 minus x squared minus 4x is equals to 5. So you have 2x plus 28. If we simplify this, minus x squared stays here. 6x minus 4x is 2x plus 24 equals to 5. Now cross multiply 5 by all of this. So we have 2x plus 28 equals to minus 5x squared, because 5 times minus x squared. 5 times 2x is 10x. And 5 times 24 is 120. So bring all of this to the left-hand side, because we want to get rid of the negative 5x squared. So that's going to give us positive 5x squared. So that becomes now minus 10x. So let's write minus 10x. Minus 10x. 120 becomes minus 120. And then obviously don't forget the 2x and 28 equals 0. If we simplify that, 5x squared minus 10 plus 2 is minus 8x. And then minus 120 plus 28. Yes, it's minus 120, isn't it? So that's going to be minus 92 equals to 0. So again, if you use a quadratic formula for this, a is going to be 5, b is going to be minus 8, and then c is going to be minus 92. So quadratic formula, x equals minus b. So you're going to put minus 8 into minus b. So that gives us positive 8 plus or minus square root b squared, which is minus 8 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 5, times c, which is 92, over 2a. So it's going to be 2 times 5. I can already see something's happening here where it's probably going to give you a maths error. Yeah, it's going to give you a maths error, but that's fine. That's not a problem. So you probably had a maths error in your calculator if you did it the right way, but that's fine. All it just means is there's no roots in it, which is no problem. So if we do 8 plus or minus square root, minus 8 squared is 64, minus 4 times 5 times 92 gives us 1840 over 10. So x equals to 8 plus or minus, if you minus that by 64, that gives us square root minus 1776 over 10. Now you probably put that in your calculator and it'll give you a maths error. The reason why it's a maths error is you can't have a negative inside a square root. So I guess in this case, what you just say is no roots. That's it. But for your exams, that's not really going to happen. You're going to have solutions like the first question. So because these questions sometimes I make them up as well, I wouldn't worry too much about it, in the sense that the method always stays the same. But if there's a negative here, don't worry about it. It just means no roots. That's all. But everything else stays the same. Okay, so this is the algebraic fraction. It was quite of a long video, I guess, but again, this is it. It's all algebra, expanding and simplifying. So hopefully that's helped you guys out, and if it has, please give this video a big thumbs up. Would really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.